Welcome back to the Rainy Room, a quiet space where stories are felt, not shouted. Tonight we listen to the voice of a woman who rose through the storm, not by escaping pain, but by transforming it. This is the story of Oprah Winfrey. Oprah was born in 1954 in rural Mississippi to a teenage mother with no father around. Raised in deep poverty, in a house without electricity or running water, she wore dresses made from potato sacks. Kids laughed. She stayed silent, but her mind was already speaking volumes. She learned to read at age 3, recited scriptures in church, and discovered early that words had power, especially when the world refused to listen. But childhood wasn't just hard, it was traumatic. She was sexually abused by family members beginning at the age of 9. At 14, she gave birth to a baby boy who died shortly after. A teenager with a past too heavy for most adults to carry. By then, the world had already dismissed her, but Oprah refused to disappear. She found escape in school, in books, debate, and, eventually, a microphone. She joined her high school speech team, won awards. At 17, she won a beauty pageant that led to a job in radio. By 19, she became the first black female co-anchor in Nashville. It looked like success. But behind the desk, she didn't feel like herself. News was rigid, cold, scripted. Oprah was warm, emotional, deeply human. She was told she was too expressive for TV. So she was moved from news to a failing morning talk show. Most would have taken it as a demotion. For Oprah, it was a door opening. The moment she spoke freely, people listened. She didn't lecture, she connected, she didn't perform, she related. And slowly, the show climbed in ratings. In 1986, the Oprah Winfrey Show launched nationally. And the world would never watch daytime TV the same way again. But Oprah didn't just build a show, she built a platform for everyone else. She interviewed celebrities, yes, but she also sat down with survivors, addicts, single mums, people with stories too heavy for the spotlight, until she turned on the light. She made it safe to talk about abuse, trauma, shame, and she did it gently. Authentically. She once said, "Turn your wounds into wisdom." And she meant every word. In 1988, she founded Harpo Productions, becoming one of the first women and first black Americans to own their own TV studio. She didn't just want a seat at the table, she built her own. She produced films like The Color Purple, Selma, Beloved, created the Oprah Book Club, which turned novels into bestsellers overnight. She gave authors, thinkers, and spiritual voices a global stage. Names like Eckhart Tolle, Brené Brown, Ian Van Zandt, and Maya Angelou. Many of them rose through the echo of Oprah's platform. But Oprah didn't just influence culture. She quietly changed lives. She donated over $400 million to education. Built a school for girls in South Africa, a place for the kind of girl she once was. She gave scholarships, housing, and hope, always with humility, because she never forgot where she came from. She said, "I still wake up sometimes and think I'm that little girl from Mississippi, because I am." Of course, there were critics. People who questioned her sincerity, her weight, her choices. But Oprah never claimed to be perfect. She only ever promised to be present. When she made mistakes, she admitted them. When she doubted, she said so out loud, and that is what made people trust her even more. She didn't try to be everyone's hero. She just tried to be herself, open, imperfect, real. And in doing so, she redefined power, not the kind that dominates, but the kind that heals. Her story isn't about fame, it's about freedom. Freedom from shame. from silence, from the past. She taught us that it's okay to cry, to ask for help, to want more, to take up space. She taught us that survival can bloom into legacy. Today, Oprah Winfrey is a billionaire, a media icon, a name the world knows. But behind the empire is a child who once hid in silence and chose to speak instead. A woman who still believes in love, growth, and soul. She once said, "You get in life what you have the courage to ask for." And she asked for truth and gave it to millions. Thank you for joining us tonight in the rainy room. If Oprah's story reminded you to reclaim your voice, to believe that you still get to write the ending, then stay with us. Because under this rain, we'll keep telling stories that prove healing is possible, hope is real, and even the quietest voice can move the world.